gonna get his ass. Where you going, son? Where you going? You ain't going nowhere, sad Mark. But, dude, did you not hear me berserk behind? What, No rest for the BB abusers. Nice block. Oh, I'm scared. I'm fighting this out to the death. The fuck? I just...
Good_aimer is now following.
Thank you, Aimer. Oh, what? I just realized where I was. Holy! I gotta get out of here. Make this build build work, we are going to need the Scorpion's Sting artifact. So open up your map, head over to Brimstone Sands at the very top of the north here, go to Cradle's Rest, and then head all the way east on the road until you come across the Ordeal of the Scorpion. Inside here, there is a Scorpion boss you can kill. It does require about 2 to 5 players. The less players you have, you will require a healer. So outside of that, here is my spear tree. This is still a work in progress. I know some people that play Scorpion do like to take Cyclone. I've decided to take Skewer. I think it works well with my playstyle to chase people or to escape gravity wells or some type of CC. But Perforate and Javelin are a must. For the Hatchet tree, here's my Hatchet tree. Standard Hatchet tree really will never change, right? Here are my attributes. I'm using 350 strength, 100 dex, and 160 con. This could change. I don't really know if I should put more points into dex. The 200 dex passive does look pretty nice, but I am using 350 strength because this is a pretty heavy ability based build. We are using Perforate, we are using Jav, we do use Skewer, we use Torrent from the Hatchet, so 350 strength is pretty good for that 10% base damage on the abilities. As for the gear, it's nothing good. I'll show you what I'm running right now. It's Vigor Elemental Aversion and Shirking Heals. Like, this is gear that I bought for 5k or less way back in the day, probably like a year ago when Rise of the Angry Earth came out. I would not recommend this. Not even Tumblers. I would highly recommend using Featherweight instead. When I do get Frigid Dawn and Featherweight maxed out on this character, I will be transitioning to that. That will also be in the build guide that I have planned soon. Here is the Endless Thirst artifact as well. This should come in about 6 to 12 hours, depending on when the update drops. Right now, we have about 6 hours left on the Mutated Expeditions. Right now, it's Dynasty, Gardens of Genesis, and Tempest Heart. We should get Savage Divide and Mutation level 1 to 3, and that is where Endless Thirst drops. After that, though, we have the Privateer's Heirloom. You can craft this at the Gypsum Kiln. And we also have Tangled Vine Amulet. For the Hyrule, I'm using the Stalwart Hyrule the Stone form, of course. And for the Hatchet, I'm using Rogue, Penetrating Backstab, and Shirking Flames. In place of Shirking Flames, I would rather have Keen Berserk, but I do have Keen Berserk on my armor. When it comes to pre-biz, this is kind of what I'm aiming for personally. Obviously, we have the Frigidon pieces with the Featherweight. I don't think this gets any better, right? Frigidon has Enchanted Ward and Elemental Aversion. These are illegal perk combinations. And of course, Slash Conditioning is going to be the best third perk. So we do have the Frigidon Helmet, the Featherweight with Slash Conditioning, and of course the Frigidon Boots. I've decided to put some crafted pieces in here. I know for a lot of players this is not ideal or realistic, so use whatever you have in these gloves. I would say Enchanted Ward, Slash Conditioning, and Thorny Reflection is probably your best 3 perk biz. I don't really know how valuable Thorny Reflection is compared to another defensive perk. I do really like it though. I do have it on one of my pieces that I'm using in another build, so I will transition over to this piece moving forward. Similarly here, we have the Hasted Vigor, Slash Conditioning, and Enfeebling Skewer Light Lakes. We do need Enfeebling Skewer for that weekend because I do use it in the build. It is clutch when fighting other players. Other than that, of course, Endless Thirst is going to come from the M1 Savage Divide dungeon, and the Berserker's Axe is probably the easiest hatchet to get for most players. It comes from your PvP track, Vicious, Penetrating Backstab, and of course, Keen Berserk. On the Scorpion Sing, the best third perk is going to be Plagued Crits.